All right. Good. So, do you want to just take a moment, Sylvana, after all of our figuring all this out, to just settle in? And I'll do the same.
Okay.
Yeah. And just let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Okay, great. And do you have a sense of what you'd like to focus on
I
for
do.
this session? Okay.
Something's come up in the 2 days ago that has been quite difficult for me, and so I would like to work on what's happening in me in response to it.
Okay. And I wonder, just before I'll ask you to just share a little bit about that, just so that I know what that is. But I'm wondering, before we do that, if you want to just take a moment and just check in and see if there's anything that your body's letting you know about talking about that thing.
There's a feeling here of, it just feels like weeping.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Just right here. Yeah. Anything that weeping feeling might need from you or me or us.
I feel like hiding.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've felt a lot of shame around, which isn't a very typical feeling for me to have. It's not very common for me to feel that, and I've been feeling a lot of shame and pain around it.
Yeah. A lot of shame and a lot of pain.
Yeah, and it also feels sort of like shameful to even talk about it or expose it. It's
Mm-hmm.
not so easy for me. That, usually it's pretty easy for me to talk
Yeah.
about stuff, and this doesn't feel so easy to talk about.
Right.
Mhm.
And is that the hiding?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Would it be all right if we just pay attention to this just for another moment? It feels really important
Okay.
to me, that there's a kind of a wanting to hide, and that it's related to shame and pain. And I wonder, if well I wonder a couple things, and I wonder if you could just kind of feel in and see if what I'm about to say feels right, or if there's something else that comes to you. But I'm wondering if the part of you that wants to hide would like to have a way to do that nearby, or even in place right now, like a pillow, or could just feel into that, see if there's any.
I don't think so, because I feel like in hiding, then I'm really alone,
So there's
and I don't really want to be alone.
Yeah. I could see you really just feeling right now and get that clarity about that.
Yeah.
There's a part of you that, or you really don't want to be alone.
No.
You need to feel this connection right here
Right.
with me.
Right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I really,
I feel I feel safe with you, so I don't really want to hide.
okay. Oh, I'm really touched that you feel that way. And I'm so glad. And I want this part of you to know that I really hear that and that I'm right here, you know, really available to connect with as much as this is wanting as we go through this. Looked like you were sort of feeling into something as I said that.
Y- what's happening is it's like the fact that it's happening feels shameful to me, and
Yeah,
and I don't think you'll be judgmental or think it's petty or
yeah,
I almost completely believe, not quite completely, but almost.
yeah, I really hear that. And I'm so glad you said that because I was just going to go there next. I wanted to check in and see if that shameful experience needs to hear anything from me or needs something from me around sharing this, even though there's a lot of you that doesn't feel that fear.
I I don't know. I feel like the fact that this is happening, I feel unlovable. This is something unlovable, and it feels very old to me. It feels like something in the present has triggered something that's very old.
Yeah, very old and like there's a so it's feels like there's a lot of tenderness here.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is it to how is it to share that with me right now?
Makes it a little easier.
Uh-huh. Can you say, Savannah, what how you know inside that something just got a little easier? I wonder if you could just say what happened in your body.
I feel a little less tight in
Uh-huh.
my chest,
In your chest, yeah.
a little less like I'm holding my breath.
Yeah. Would it be all right to just take a moment and just let your body really feel that less tightness and that being able to take more of a breath? How was that to do that?
There's a way that I felt really kind of rejected and um, treated in a way like I was of no importance to someone who's significant to me. Um, and a couple days ago, and on Christmas, and which probably makes it much more potent. Um, and I think there's just a feeling of like how painful and shameful it is to be not important to someone who's important to me.
Yeah, that brings up a lot of shame to feel that feeling.
Yeah.
How was it to share that piece with me about what happened?
Good.
Okay. And I'm just, I just want to let you decide if you want to share more about that incident or if that's enough to just give a general outline and then we kind of go from there.
No, I think I'd like to
That's right.
hear
Okay. Yeah.
more. It has to do with my relationship with my adult son. And for, yeah, quite a few years, he and I've had a really positive relationship where I've, you know, I felt like um, things things have been really, um, we've been able to communicate well, and if there was any kind of blip in the relationship, we've been able to sort of talk about it and repair it. And, it seemed like, kind of the early years of tension in moving from parent child into more adult were going well.
Hmm.
And he would say that also. But then, you know, during these last, it's been a year since, because of the pandemic, well, it's been a year since I've been either at his house or he's been at our house because of the pandemic. And in the middle of the summer, we spent a weekend together camping at social distance, which was odd, but it was sort of the only way to really get together. We live in neighboring states, um, and um, it, you know, I've been really looking forward to this little camping weekend, to see him and also to meet a new girlfriend of his. And it 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 didn't go as well as we had hoped. And um, my husband and I felt like she really wasn't interested in being around us or meeting us, that she really would have preferred just to be there with him.
Oh. Oh.
And
Hmm.
um, and then when I tried to communicate with him about what had happened and see if we could sort of just put it out on the table and sort of move on from it, he got really defensive. And
Mm-hmm.
we tried to resolve it, but he kind of resolved it by just kind of shutting me down on it. And, I think he was too defensive about it to really repair it. And,
Uh-huh.
and so since then, he's just gotten more and more distant. And, because it didn't get repaired.
Yeah.
And then at Thanksgiving, um, we had a very brief video visit on Thanksgiving Day, since we couldn't be together on the holidays. Like we normally would see each other several times during the year, and this year's been different. So there hasn't been the chance to repair in that way of actually being together.
Right.
And so Thanksgiving, he just seemed very tight and distant. And, afterwards, I just sort of, tried to communicate with him about what I'd observed and sort of try to bridge that. And he got really defensive and really angry. And, it ended up, saying that he didn't want to hear any observations from me. He didn't want to process anything with me.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
if I made an observation, he felt talked down to, like he was a child. And he needed space.
Mm.
So for the previous month, in the last month, I've been first week sort of communicated by email about it. And I just really acknowledged, what he needed. And, that, I was really willing to respect what he needed. And he wrote back and said he felt heard. And, he was optimistic. But, it wasn't easy because I'd agreed to terms of a new relationship that were different than what we'd been doing for quite a few years.
Right.
Where actually couldn't exist in the relationship anymore, except in this very kind of superficial way. And if there was any kind of issue, I had agreed not to address it or try, so there's no way to repair anything. So I felt relieved that, he was feeling heard, and grieved because it meant that I was stepping back, though I feel like developmentally it makes sense to me, for him. He needs that to sort of individuate and be his more separate self.
Mm.
When he was
Mhm.
growing up, we were very, very close, and I think it makes the individuation a little more challenging for him.
Mhm.
And for me too, probably. And so anyway, but I thought, and then I just was in the last month holding the grief of what was not going to be possible anymore, at least for some unknown period of time. But, he had sort of been reaching out and like texting or something to sort of make a connection on lighter matters, like sending a funny photograph or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So it felt like he was trying to normalize the relationship under the new terms.
Uh-huh.
And then on Christmas Day, we had sent, my husband and I had sent gifts for him and for his girlfriend, and he had sent us a box of gifts. And this is where I'm part of the embarrassment is that it seems so petty because it's about gifts. And,
Uh-huh.
but the truth of the matter is that my son is a person where gifts matter a lot to him. It matters what he receives to him, that it be, he's picky, and it matters that you got it right. And he puts a lot of effort with people he cares about into figuring out the right gift.
Uh-huh.
And he's given me lots of gifts that were very reflective of his recognizing who I am or what I would like, and his getting, being spot on with what he gave.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave my husband and I a game that was something we would both be interested in, which was nice. And he gave my husband this sort of electronic device and an accessory for the electronic device. So it was kind of a significant gift. And he gave me a couple of pairs of socks from Target that were nothing I would ever wear. They were kind of like athletic socks.
Yeah.
And it's not so much about the gift, it's about the meaning of the gift.
Yeah. Oh, I really hear that. This is a language for him that you know about.
That's right. And he's, you know, he's, he actually a year ago had read that pop psych book about languages of love. And he had been telling me about, these are his languages of love, and this isn't his language of love. And one of the ones was gifting, was about gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it was unconscious, an unconscious act
Mm.
as opposed to intentional.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
he's really visual. I mean, I know that somewhere in him, he knows I don't wear athletic socks, cheap polyester athletic socks.
Oh, uh-huh.
And so there's a part of me that hopes, in terms of who he is, that it was an unconscious acting out.
Yeah.
But it made it feel like, what I thought the new norm was, and that we were moving on from since Thanksgiving, wasn't over. Like there was some held
Uh-huh.
resentment that got acted out this way. And whatever it meant to him, to me it meant it was obligatory, and he hadn't put any thought into it. It didn't mean anything to him. He's never given me anything like that. If he has plenty of money now, he's working, and he's not short on money.
Right.
But even when he was, when he was a student or something like that, he he would get give me something like a book that he had really sort of thought about, was this a book I would want to read?
Right. Right.
This wasn't about money. This was about, it didn't matter to him,
Hmm.
is how it feels to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
what?
I want you to finish your thought. And I was just going to ask you also if it would be okay to just stay with this pain around this for a
Yeah,
minute. Yeah.
it just feels really, ouch, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Really ouch. Yeah. And Sylvana, I can't see your lower part of your body, but it looks like you're sort of, are you holding your arms kind of
yeah.
like that? Yeah. Good. Just let yourself hold right there. I'm right here with you, holding too.
Feels feels like being thrown away.
Uh-huh. It feels like being thrown away. Yeah.
It feels like, there's a conscious or unconscious, it feels like there's like an intentionality to it. Like if he had just given my husband these
Yeah.
electronic device thing and given me the game, you know,
Uh-huh.
the game was more appropriate. Was appropriate for both my husband and I, and we will play it together. But um, but it was a more appropriate gift for me. I mean, if he had just sort of forgotten about the socks and
Yeah.
given me the game, it would have felt really different.
Yeah. Yes, I hear that. And I really feel, I can just feel how important it is to be able to understand what his intention is. And I really, I really, really, I can feel the importance of that as you're talking about it. And I just want to ask you, um, would it be all right if we just gently put that just to the side,
Yeah.
since we can't fully know that, right?
And I can't know that ever because I've
Right.
made an agreement not to ask a question like that.
That's right. And what we do know is how it's impacting you deeply.
Right.
Yeah. Would it be all right for us to stay with that deep impact right now?
Yeah, I'd like
You
to because
That's all right with
you're
you?
right. There's no way to know anything more about that. There's
Yeah.
no there's no way. I can only uh, project onto it. There's no way
Yeah.
for me to know what he was thinking or what he intended or if he, I don't know. There's just
Yes.
no way.
There's no way. And we do know that it's deep, like deep impact inside of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm wondering, just as we say that right now, just what do you notice inside? I want to make sure it's okay for us to focus on this part,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
deep impact. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wonder if you can just come right back to it just as much as it feels right, and just tell me what you notice inside right now as you connect with that.
I feel like I'm holding my breath.
You feel like you're holding your breath.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
feels very tight in my chest.
yeah, yeah. Feels very tight in your chest. Yeah. And I want to ask you, Sylvana, I should have asked you this before we started the session, but I want to ask you if you could just tilt your device down just a little bit so I can just see a little bit more of your chest area. Oh, perfect. That's great.
Like that.
Yeah, that's great. So just going back to that tightness in your chest. I wonder if if you were to if you were to just kind of feel in and see what that tightness might need. You just put your hand there. Yeah, just let the tightness, just feel your hand. very painful to feel this. Yeah, really. Would your would your chest like, would this pain like for you to put another hand there somewhere? And I just have this impulse, Savannah. I know that if we were together, I would ask you if I could put my hand
It
on
would,
top of,
yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, I'm
Okay.
gonna do that, and I'll keep it in view of my camera, and I'm just gonna put my hand and come closer. Yeah, yeah, just yeah. How is it to feel my hand there? Is that all? Is that all right? Yeah. S- Silvana, would you like me to? Do you need some help with this experience you're having, or do you want to stay with it?
I just want you to stay there.
Okay, okay. I am right here. I am right here with you. Yeah,
It feels like someone is more important to me than I am to them.
so painful.
I want to be more connected to them than they do to me.
Yeah, yes, yeah. And that's such a deep hurt that it's making it made it hard to breathe. Yeah.
Do you do you think this is petty?
Not at all. Oh, I'm so glad that you asked me that. Yes, not at all. I think it's crucial.
I, I think it feels I feel ashamed to want to be more connected to someone than they want to be connected to me. It feels shameful to, that this mattered more to me than it did to him.
Yeah, yes, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I'm guessing this really brings up this you said at the beginning this feels really old. I'm guessing this brings up a lot
yeah,
of knowing and experience about that experience.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This is,
It's one of the most important things about being human, isn't it?
about what?
About being human
Yeah,
is feeling that we are connected to somebody else as they are connected to us.
yeah. I mean, this feels like how I think I felt when I was a baby, and it's like being alone and feeling like I want to be connected to my mother, and my mother's not there.
Yeah.
She's not there.
So then is it okay if we just stay with that little baby? That was kind of my feeling about this too. Yeah, I was feeling that baby too.
Yeah.
I'm just staying with her. Yeah. Can she feel you holding her and feel me here with you?
Yeah,
What?
it's just crying.
I'm just crying. Yeah.
It's crying.
Oh,
She, she just got left alone a lot.
she got left alone a lot. Yeah. Let's just be here with her while she cries and just shares that experience with you. Yeah. Yeah. Feels like something just shifted.
It just feels important that you're here with her, that I'm here with her, that she could just cry because I think as a baby she just stopped crying because she was by herself.
Oh, poor baby. Poor baby. She just gave up. She just gave up. Yeah. Because she was by herself.
Yeah,
And it feels so important that she feels me here. Yeah. And you here with her. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. Just let her, just as much as she wants, as much as she wants to take us in.
this last month I I felt like, while I was sort of experiencing the grief of this shift in this relationship in present, I felt, part of the grief work for me has been like imagining myself as a baby, and myself as an adult, and imagining myself holding her. So I've been working with this photograph I have of myself as a baby. So
Oh,
I'd like,
sweet.
it happens to be right here on my desk. So
Oh, I'd love to see it. I would love to see her,
so
little Sylviana.
this is
Oh, oh, look at that smile. Oh,
and I just have been feeling like I can be with her the way she lives in me now. And I know, Corey, that you can be with her
yes.
because you've held her before.
Oh, she remembers that. She remembers that. And so it sounds like there's some trust, a little bit of trust for her that I could be here.
I think a lot.
A lot of trust. I'm so happy to hear that, Sylvana.
I know that.
Can you can you let her know that I'm so happy to hear that, and I'm so glad that I get to be here with her again.
Yeah, she knows that if we could be in the same room, you would hold her again.
Yes, that's right. I will do that.
Uh,
Is she wishing that were true right now? Oh,
Yeah.
I would really like to try to bridge this just as much as we can,
Okay.
if you're open to that.
Yeah.
And I want you to, yeah, just check in and see what will feel right to her. You know, I can do this. I can come closer and do this. Yeah.
Good.
Does she see this? Can she
Yes.
feel this? Yeah.
Yes. But I
And if I were
you would
holding
do
her,
that.
what was that? I'm
I
sorry.
I know you would do that.
She knows you know that I would do that. That's
Right.
right. That's right. I would do that. Yep. And I've got her. I've got her right now as much as I can. Yeah.
She was so alone during those times.
Yeah. She was so alone. So painful.
I feel sad for her.
Yeah. Oh, it's very sad. I feel very, very sad for her too.
Yeah. And when I look at that photograph of myself as a baby,
Yeah.
I don't know, it looks to me like I'm maybe 6 months old or something like that in that photograph. I can see a certain resiliency.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I
You
was seeing that too.
it's like, whoa. I mean,
Isn't that amazing?
it's amazing. There was a lot of abandonment during that time. And clearly, as someone, when my parents were with her, when that photograph was taken, and to have that kind of resiliency, to be able to not be detached, it's,
That's right. That's right. Yeah. She was still right there,
I
wanting the
know,
connection, ready for the connection.
I
Is
know,
that what you're saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is kind of amazing.
Really amazing. This little baby's heart just really had some resiliency, a lot
Yeah,
of resiliency.
yeah.
What's it like for her? Can you check in with her and just ask her, what's it like for her? For us to see that, both of these, parts of her, and to be holding her right now. What's happening for her right now as we talk about that?
I don't know if there was enough there intermittently that she didn't, do what neglected babies do, where they just become disengaged. If there was just enough, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, but I think, I grew up to sort of to have an anxious attachment
Yeah. Yeah.
and not just being disengaged.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and it's kind of been my life's work to work on that. And the truth is that my son, what's happening with my son is kind of an anomaly. I mean, it's a huge thing because it's an important relationship to me,
Yeah.
but where I would like more of a meaningful connection, but that's not available now.
Yeah.
He's saying he doesn't want that now. But the other people in my life, it's not characteristic of my relationships. Other people in
Mm.
my life, it's changed so that the other people in my life, they're more secure relationships.
And that, I'm guessing that feels really good to just reflect on that right now.
Yeah, it feels like that resiliency in her,
Yeah.
the baby, kind of has been rewarded.
Yes, yeah, and your dedication to healing her, to get her to this place where she has that availability of love and connection in her life and in your life now.
Yeah, I remember during a kind of painful breakup with someone when I was in my 20s. I remember just really sobbing and grieving, and there was this awareness, like, of abandonment, being abandoned by this person. And also, but I was there, and I would never abandon me.
Oh,
I could always be there.
wow, wow.
And so it feels like uh, sh- she really doesn't have to be alone like that.
It really feels like she doesn't have to be alone like that.
Yeah, even if my son is doing whatever his developmental thing is that he's doing.
Yeah, you can like you can be there with her. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
I'm wondering,
you're here,
and I'm here with her right now. That's right. That's right.
right?
That's right. I'm here with her right now, and I'm hearing this
Eh,
and hearing.
right. And my husband is with me, and my friends are with me. It's like I don't have to live in that desolate place anymore.
Yeah, right. How is the little baby right now as we're talking about this? Can you check in with her and just see how she's feeling and as we
We're both sitting with her, holding her, and she's doing that thing that babies do after they've cried really hard, where they kind of hiccup.
mm,
They kind
mm,
of can't quite get their breath after
mhm,
crying really hard.
kind of
But
in that recovering.
yeah, it's kind of like a recovering, whatever that happens, like the diaphragm is spasming or something in the baby.
Mm, and
I mean, she's not okay, but she will be okay. She knows she's not, she doesn't have to be alone with that
she knows that.
pain of being rejected.
Yeah, yes. Wow. She knows that she doesn't have to be alone
Right, you're
with
here,
the pain.
I'm here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah. And I would really like to just let her take that in just as much as she wants to, for us to just be here with her. I know we have some we have about 8 minutes left, and I wonder if you could just see if she'd like to just soak this in, this experience of you being here and me being here, her not having to be alone. Just see how she responds to that. Yeah. And I wonder, oh, I feel like I can just see her looking at me through your eyes right now. Yeah. Could I tell her something directly? I just want to tell her I'm so glad to be here with her. I'm so glad to be here with you right now.
I feel like she's sort of reaching out her little arms to you.
She's reaching out her little arms. Yeah. She want me to reach out mine and take her in?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I sort of feel like I just kind of want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, just let her feel that. I'm just taking her in. Yeah.
I can feel you.
Mm. Just let her feel that. Yeah, just let her soak that in. Yeah. What's happening now inside?
And she could feel that.
I can feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're here. I know you understand it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Deep resonance.
Yeah, I don't think you judge me.
No. No. I wonder if that feeling of not wanting to be judged, right, and feel safe here.
Yeah,
If it needs anything from me around that, besides my just responding to that.
I think so. I think I, it helped to know how you feel about this.
It would help to know that.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm really glad that we're going to be able to do that then. Yeah. Yeah. My sense of this is that this just came right into the very core of one of your deepest wounds.
yeah.
And I so deeply honor that. So deeply honor that, Silvana. And your commitment to healing it, and your little baby Silvana's, her reaching, her continuing to reach for that healing from you and from me, despite everything that's happened to her. In this relationship with your son, that is such a precious connection for you. What's happening for you right now? Looks like you're just kind of taking that in.
Well, I
Uh,
feel like, it is that relationship is what it is. And, it's just, I'm accepting it, but, I need to be focused elsewhere, where there's more, people that are reaching for me also.
mhm. That awareness is really feeling clear inside.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
want to be reaching for him where, he's saying like this.
yeah, yeah. And how is little baby Silvana with that?
Well, that's better.
That's better.
What's hard for her is to reach for someone who's not there.
Okay, that's better.
Whether
Uh-huh.
it was my mother or whether it's now a different relationship where that feeling is triggered again.
That
Um,
feels right to her.
yeah,
Yeah. So just in these few moments, or these few minutes that we have left before we close, I wonder, it feels important that baby Sylvana have, you know, I wonder if you could ask her if there was something really important about the work that we just did and this feeling that she's having and the insight that you're having that she wants to take with her, that really is important to take with her.
I think she wants to take with her just a feeling of reaching out to you and it feeling like you're holding her close.
Yeah. Oh, that good. Yeah. It's very moving. Really brings up feeling for her
Yeah.
to just even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is there something you just kind of made this movement with your hands and did that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if,
I think that movement,
does that movement capture that?
I think so.
Yeah. Let's feel into it and see if that's right for her. Yeah. And is there a word, Sylvana, that goes with that?
Safe. Being safe. Safe. I'm safe.
I'm safe. Okay.
I'm safe.
Would you like to just do that movement another time or two and say those words just to really let that
I'm
anchor in? Yeah.
safe.
I'm safe. She like that? That felt right to her? Okay. And then I wonder, just lastly, if she knows that, as you work through this issue with your son going forward, if she wants you to do this movement as you think about it at certain times, or how to have this movement and those words and the connection to the work that we just did, be there for her
Yeah.
when this is painful again, as you work through this. Do you
Yeah.
want anything around that?
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking of is I don't know how old I was, if I was a baby or a toddler, but certainly by the time I was a toddler, I was given a baby doll. And
Mm.
this was like before plastic dolls.
Uh-huh.
And um, I was doing some work, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago on this infant part of myself. And the doll had sort of become rather decrepit with age. And I
Oh,
restored the doll
wow.
and kind of did a lot of holding of her and stuff like that. And I feel like, the fact that I had the doll from when I was like so young, really, really young, and remember her when I was really young. Um, I remember having my tonsils out in the hospital and having her, like at 4 or something, and having her in the hospital with me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and, I think that I, I think it is going to come up again with my son during these months ahead. and I could do this, and with the doll. I think
Oh, lovely.
having
Lovely.
having that tangible, you know, one, that I now associate with my little self, my little baby self. Um, I think it could help, the tangibleness of that.
Oh,
I'm safe. I'm safe.
what a great idea. Yeah. I'm so glad you have that doll.
I
A
know,
real material direct connection.
I know. It's really kind of amazing.
Really special.
Mhm.
Anything else that little baby Sylvana or you need before we end?
I just feel like you've been so loving.
Oh,
And that goes into me.
oh, I'm so glad that you got to receive that because I do feel that. Yeah, yeah. All right. Oh, you feel ready to shift back?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and stop the recording.